G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present the team picker for SuperCoach 2025. I've had a play through it throughout the day, but now is my first proper time today that I've actually been able to be ready to record. So I've been playing through it throughout work, throughout the day. So I'm super excited to show you the team that I've come up with. Obviously, it's a team picker in December, nothing set in stone, especially the rookies. The rookie information will change as we go during preseason. But I like the look of the structure early days. And yeah, there's a few guys that we can talk about that I've put into my side. And it'll be interesting to talk about and see what you guys think. Make sure you like and subscribe as we head into the 2025 AFL SuperCoach season. Should be a good one. I'm looking to do a lot more work over the season, content wise here and on TikTok, SDS_SuperCoach. Make sure you follow that. And also on Twitter, I post a fair bit at Stephen D.W. Smith. So if you're not following me there, make sure you do. And if you guys didn't tune into the live stream, I have got a new microphone and I've set up a new background, which I reckon looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. And yes, I've got a microphone. So yep, let's get straight into it. I took a screenshot of my side of my phone, so I'm gonna base it off that. Now, I've seen a fair few sides, and I'm struggling to find many differences when it comes to the forward line. So you're not going to see anything different or special here. In my book, F1 Jason Horne-Francis, I believe he just snuck in as forward status, and I believe the horny one is primed for a big season. I believe this would be his fourth season in the AFL system. He got drafted in 2021. 2022 was his debut season, and now he's a forward for us this season. As yeah, we could see a lot more midfield time, that's for sure. He's had a couple of interrupted pre-seasons, so that's why I'm pretty excited about Horne-Francis for next year. And yeah, I'm excited for Horny. Yeah, I'm pretty keen on JHF, and as many are as well, because 22 years old, he's certainly gonna certainly he spent a lot of time down forward, so deep forward, but I think we'll see that uptick into the midfield as he continues to get fitter and fitter each season. And here we got Jack McRae here. New club. Really weird seeing that St Kilda emblem on Jack McRae. Don't know about you, but I think Jack, they've said he's going to be playing midfield. They haven't got a left footer in their midfield, which I think can add an extra element for St Kilda's midfield, as it has struggled over the past couple of seasons. So I think that's good signs for McRae to stay in the midfield. I know my housemate said he thinks McRae can be their highest possession getter. We'll see. I don't see too much benefit in anti-potting, so that's why I'm not in love with Jack McRae as a pick, but I think it's there. The crowd will be there. I don't think there's much gain anti-potting Jack McRae. I think you just jump on the crowd, jump with the crowd. If it fails, then we move on. This bloke was the first bloke I put into my side, Bailey Smith. I think he's if you're not counting Tom Stewart as a midfielder, he might Bailey Smith might already be their best mid. So I think a player that we're gonna have a good look in new colours for the Cats, and he'll be an inside midfielder. I'm very confident on that. I don't think he'll be spending any time on the wing. Comes at a really cheap price after missing 2024. And yeah, I know we had a lot of issues last season down forward picking players, which we definitely did. This year, it's certainly a lot easier to get some good, interesting options. So I think the forward line's, I said this before the team picker, I think the forward line is the easiest line to pick in Supercoach so far. So Bailey Smith is certainly a guy that I think a lot of people have in their side, and for good reason. Mateus Filippo, we saw a little glimpse of him as an inside midfielder towards the back end of St Kilda's season, and they really started to pick up some good wins there. And Filippo certainly played in a few of them. He was spending more time in the midfield. He dropped himself last season, came back through the VFL as a midfielder compared to that rubbish half forward role Rossaline was playing, making him play. So he should be able to play a lot more midfield for 2025. He should be in the midfield rotation, I would expect. And I guess a theme, I guess if we can remember as well, Mateus Filippo is, not Mateus Filippo, St Kilda do have the good buy round in the midway point of the season where it's just them and Fremantle. I think the rest of the teams in the mid-season buy have there are 4 teams on each buy. So that's why there's a little bit of extra salt in the chips here with St Kilda and Fremantle players. So similar to last year where it was Fremantle and Port Adelaide. I've got no idea what that analogy I just said. Extra salt on the chips. That's one for the bin. Caleb Daniels. So yeah, anyway, Freo and St Kilda are certainly blokes that will look to get in to help us throughout the bye rounds. Caleb Daniel, North Melbourne said they're looking to play this half-back role for him. If they weren't going to acquire Caleb Daniel, it seemed like Colby McKercher was going to get that role once again. But unfortunately not. It does seem like Caleb Daniel will get that role, but that's no issue for us. He's actually got history of playing down in defence, unlike Zach Fisher. So he's got a forward mid status. And yeah, I think these first 5 are going to be extremely popular for people's sides. Elijah Hewitt, I'm going to put in here from the Eagles. It's not too many rookies I'm going to talk about in much detail, but with Hewitt, missed of all of last season due to a foot issue. He's certainly a guy where the Eagles are looking to still blood their young side and their young players through and through. Andrew McQualter with the new as the new coach for the Eagles, he'll look at putting in different tactics and all that stuff. So sorry, I'm a bit rusty. I haven't done this in about 4 months. So but Elijah Hewitt's certainly a guy that at that really cheap price who has had history of playing in the midfield for the Eagles. I think he'll be a guy that could be an extremely good rookie for us. As I said, I'm not going to talk too much. I will talk about Jack Martin though. 150k, came over from the Blues as a delisted free agent from the to the Cats, and I mean, I trust Geelong a lot in terms of picking out the right blokes for their side. So if they're picking up Jack Martin, I wouldn't expect him to be playing just most of the VFL season. I think job security is in question, but he can, when healthy, play that half forward role pretty well. But they are pretty stocked up with Brad Close and Myers and Manor. But he could make a case to get into that best 23. And I've just got Brandon Ryan just in case he is the replacement for Danaher, but I highly doubt that. As we move into, here's the cheeky flex, by the way. This is, we now have 23 players on field, best 22 in every single round this season. So this flex position, we can put in any play we like, in any position, that sort of thing. I'm going to go the Rucks first, which will make more sense when I'm explaining who I put in my flex position. I'm going to go with Tim English at 581k early days. I think that's a really good price for Tim English. By his standards, that was a very poor season last season. He'll look to bounce back, I'm sure of it. The main question would be around just it's really just the split in the ruck. Are they going to play him forward more, put Sam Darcy a bit more into the ruck? Is Bevo still going to be pretty stubborn with that solo ruck role for Tim English and not flirt with other ideas? It's that sort of thing. But I just think at that price, 581, when he was, 700 plus K, I think the season prior, I think it's extremely tempting for him to have a bounce back season. I really like that price for Tim English. I know some people have these never again lists. I don't have them personally, but I really like the idea of Tim English at that price. We'll just have to monitor pre-season. So I don't think they'll be a super popular pick, but gee, that's an interesting price. Along with this bloke here from the Blues, Tom De Koning, 547k for the Blues. If he can stay as a solo ruck, We've seen his ceiling. He's gone absolutely bonkers in games for the Blues as a solo ruck, scoring 150 pluses all over the place. So if Pitterneck can stay out of that side and he can be a solo ruck with a good run in preseason, because he did have a few issues during last season, then I expect the Blues. I expect him to be a really strong ruckman and challenge the likes of Gawn and Cherry in 2025. Who do I even have at R3? I think it's Sims from the Tigers. We don't really care though. Now the flex position. Now I tweeted out this before. In my personal opinion, I think there are two uses for the flex in our starting side. One is a cash cow, so just a bloke that we can't fit into our original structure that we would like to cement into our side. Or it is a primo ruck / value ruck that you don't want to put at R3, or you want to start 3 premium rucks. So it might be English, DeConning, and Gawn, or whatever the case may be. Gawn, English, Cherry. I don't know. So that's an option. Cash cow, so it could be a guy like a bloke who I can't fit into this current side. It might be like an Isaac Kako from the Bombers, who should play straight away as a small forward for the Bombers. But I'm not going to go with him. If we hear enough news about Kako, I'm sure we'll fit him in. My main worry would be that he's with Essendon's dodgy situation with their small forwards. He might just be stuck at forward pocket, but I know he has that ability to play in the midfield or really push up as a half forward. So we'll have to see what Essendon plan to use for him. But I'm going Matty Flynn from the West Coast Eagles. I'm hearing a few things that he could become the number 1 ruck. Once again, Andrew McQualter, new tactics, new system. I think the new ruck rule certainly helps Matt Flynn. Could he be the Lloyd Meek of 2025? We have seen him in the past deliver some good stuff, and then Kieran Briggs just destroyed his chances of staying on the Giants list there, or getting any minutes at AFL level. So I don't think he's got strong competition with Bailey BJ Williams. So I think he has a strong chance of getting that number 1 spot. Remember, he did a terrible hamstring injury heading into the season, so it was pretty tough for him to get running there. So I've got Matt Flynn there for now. It's tripping me out how long of it, like how bigger of a box it is to the rest of the players, but that's all right. We'll go into the back line here as I have a look at my screenshot. Harry Sheasel for me, if I haven't mentioned already, I don't really plan on starting anyone above 650. I think you listed all the previous winners of SuperCoach. They talk all about value, 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 and that's what I've tried my best to do here, because that's really the key for winning the game. And if you can nail it to start with in your starting team, puts you in a really good position going forward. So I'm going with Harry Sheasel here. I think he's my only player above 600 here. I think there's only 15 blokes above 600k this season, and he's my only one. I guess the theory is he's just an absolute star, playing the midfield this year, but he still didn't look out of place. Good contested work, super damaging, very dangerous towards goal. So I really like Harry Sheasel for SuperCoach as a defender as well. I think as well with North, I do expect them to get better next season, but I think the thing is, like, not many teams tag Sheasel because North have just performed too badly to warrant a tag for someone, because the opposition haven't really been in danger that much. And I think a similar thing could happen, but there's also options of maybe tagging LDU, or I don't know. But I just don't think North cop that many tags. But yeah, Sheasel's an absolute jet. As we move into Jack Sinclair for the Saints. Again, another Saints player in here, but that's all right. I see at 592k, 30 years old next season, where we can't click on the players info, but he had a really good second half of the season. I think the only reason we didn't start him as coaches was leading up into last season, he was dealing with a calf issue and missed the first game, and then had a slow start. But if he can have no interruptions during the preseason, I am pretty on board with Jack Sinclair. I think St Kilda trust Sinclair off halfback, and if he's playing off halfback, then I'm pretty keen. Guess the minor concern would be if Nazar Wanganeen Millera takes too much possession off him, but we're in December. We'll figure it out. I'm going with Jordan Clark here from the Dockers. I just, I think they're going to lean into him more than Luke Ryan. So I do like Jordan Clark. I know he only had one premium season, but I think it's sustainable. My early thoughts are so. I don't mind him. Plus, he has the good buy. I'm going with Callum Mills here with the Swans. I just think captain of the footy club, new coach Dean Cox. We'll see what he wants to do with Callum Mills, whether he could be a main distributor of halfback, but it might be Matt Roberts. Um, could he play midfield again? We'll have to see. See if he can get his body right first. But at 357K, as a bloke who used to cost us 640 a few years ago as a midfielder, I just think that's really good value for what Callum Mills is capable of. I'm going to go with Toby Travaglia. This is my last Saints player. Don't worry, guys. Toby Travaglia. Uh, Travaglia. I think it's actually Travaglia. It's a silent G. Travaglia. Travaglia. Um, Seems like he's impressing early days. I mentioned on the live stream, I don't pay too much attention to preseason until after Christmas. So, um, but I think he's going to be a rookie that plays straight away if he can just build Ross Lyon's trust, because I don't trust Ross Lyon with rookies unless they're ones that are really impressing him, like a Darcy Wilson. I think Toby could be in the same category as Darcy Wilson here. Don't know if he's going to be as good of a scorer or as a cash maker, but I think there's a chance he could play midfield. I think there's more of a chance just him being off half back, but that's totally fine for us. Bo Allen here, I think he is the type of player that will be playing straight away for the Eagles. So I like the look of him. I think he'll just play a backline role, but that's perfectly fine with us. It's good having DPP with these rookies down back. Then a couple of guys here, Zach Reed, just at that price again. I'm just worried he's far too injury prone. I think it's different with Gibcus. The reason I'm not going Gibcus here is one, I don't have the money. But two as well, I'm not really sure if he's ready to play round one. So that's a bit up in the air. We'll see if Zach Reed has a full preseason. Then James Leake here. Um, with the lack of depth the Giants have to start the season, and they lost a bit of depth last season uh, through trade and all that. I think James Leake, who was a utility for, my dad's calling me, where James Leake is a utility, drafted as a utility. I believe he's Tasmanian, and I think Giants are pretty good with developing players. So I do think James Leake could get some early games there. Now the midfield. As I said, no one above 600 for me. I'm going with LDU. I think that this is actually a good price for him, 588. Played every game last season, which I'm happy with, because he did have a few issues with the injury. So, yeah, I'm just going with another North Melbourne midfielder and see how we go. If I start him again like last year, I promise, unless he's injured, I'm not trading him. I made too many stupid mistakes last season, and we don't talk about last season for me because that was a shocker. Tom Green for me, with the Giants. I guess my main concern would be is he actually a super coach player or is he an AFL fantasy player? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But I think at 574, I th- it's a pretty good price. It's a pretty good price for Tom Green, where we're paying, what was it, 610 the previous season. I just think he's capable of going to another level, and I think we're just waiting on it. Gonna go with probably my one of my differentials here, Hayden Young, early days. I speak to Damo from the Footy Mailbag podcast, who's a mad Docker supporter. He's the one that called Caleb Sarong, last season to be the Docker midfielder to pick. This year, he told me he thinks it's Hayden Young. Now, I haven't spoken to him about it in about 6 weeks, so that might have changed, but he just signed a massive extension, Hayden Young, till 2033. So, yeah, they back him in. I think he is a really good player. So, we'll see how we go for now. We'll see how we go. Hayden Young, we'll find out. I don't know, just a real interesting option. I find Hayden Young, just a different type of midfielder to Brayshaw and Sarong. Hopefully with better time on ground. Clayton Oliver. Now I'm just trying to think. He's I think early days he hasn't had the best preseason, but it's like how worse can this get? A bloke that used to go 125 plus every season. If he can have a good run in preseason, how worse can this get? I just don't see him getting worse if he has a full preseason. So if he can just stay on the park over the break, and yeah, I mean, are we expecting 120 pluses, 120 plus seasons from Clayton Oliver again? I don't see it happening, but I do see potentially maybe getting 105 or 100 plus. That's still that's still a decent result for Clayton Oliver's capabilities as a player. And I think he can get back to that sort of range. Um, I hope so. Will Ashcroft here, the superstar in the grand final. Um, he's just an absolute gun. I mean, in the draft, heading into the season, he was actually a better prospect than Dacos and Sheasel. I think he's in that mold. I think he can get the midfield minutes in there. I mean, it's hard not to put him in the midfield, with the way he performed during the final series, and that was without a preseason, by the way. But this is where he gets the opportunity to get a full preseason with his brother in there as well. And yeah, I think I'm hoping for this to be the season where he can take it to another level. Jagger Smith's an interesting one. I think there is a chance he could play off half back or a little stints in the midfield. I trust Michael Voss to make the right call there. Do I trust Michael Voss fully to give Jagger Smith the best possible opportunity to get the ball? No. I'm mildly worried he could be sub on occasions or subbed off, as Carlton are in the window right now looking to win. But I think this bloke should be an absolute star for the next 15 years for that club. And I think he kicks a bit like Dacos and Butters. He's just got that way about his kicking style where it's just so effective. So if they can play him in the right role, I really do like it. I'm not picking many of Richmond's rookies early days, but I think Josh Smiley is one that will play straight away, and he could even play midfield straight away. Um, I just think he's got that body um, that Richmond need in the midfield for the future, and I think he's got great potential. And another one, I actually haven't seen in that many drafts. Um, Team picker drafts at the minute. It's Xavier Lindsay from the D's, where I think they're going to play him off half back next to Windsor as Trent Rivers moves into the midfield, which is very exciting because I think Rivers is a good midfielder for the future. I think the spot opens up for Xavier Lindsay potentially because I think they'll play Harry Sharp, and Langdon on the wing. And if an injury happens there, Windsor probably pushes up on the wing because it's rumored that Windsor and Lindsay are both going to be playing off half back. So I think that's a good enough role, early signs for that to work. And then the bench, I'll wrap this up here. Sardell Hawley for the Bombers. I'll talk a little bit about him because he's got good VFL numbers in the past. He was picked up in the mid-season draft last year. Nearly got into the Bombers side if it wasn't for injury. Um, so I think he's got some good signs to be a rookie. And I know I've got him on the bench, but he is certainly a rookie that we could look to put on field. I think he's going to be that type of scorer. I think he'll be a good scorer as a rookie and a good cash cow. And then the last two are just, yeah, um, throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. Is Neil Rasmus and Will Lorenz here. So we'll see how we go with those. But yeah, as I said, I don't really care. So that's my side. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts on the flex, all that stuff as we look to kickstart 2025 Supercoach content. I've got a lot of stuff planned. Super excited for the upcoming season. As I said, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you think. If you've got any questions, I'll answer them. Really appreciate all the support from the past, and I'm looking to do it all over again. And I'm super excited for this upcoming season. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.